day, Algebra. We are going over CO31 today, which is solving two-step inequalities. And what I want you to remember, key point right off the bat here, solving a two-step inequality is very similar to solving a two-step equation. Okay? The process that we use to solve a two-step equation is what?
Opposite operations.
Opposite operations. You're doing the same thing here. Okay? Same thing here. However, there are two key differences that you need to remember when solving inequality in order to do it properly. The first one is, and this one I'm going to write it in red because this is a red flag. It's a very common error. I want it to really stand out. Okay? When you multiply or divide by a negative number. Sam, do I hear you talking right now? Good. By a negative number, the inequality symbol flips. Okay? When you multiply or divide by a negative number, the inequality symbol flips. That's the quirk about solving inequalities we don't have to worry about with the equations. Okay, Nathan.
What if you have two inequalities? Do they both flip?
Are you looking ahead?
No.
No. Well, if it comes up here, let me know. Okay. Otherwise, let's stick with this for right now. Okay. And then the other thing that you need to do when solving an equation, you don't have to do with an equation, solving an inequality, you don't have to do with an equation, is you need to graph your solution. Because with an equation, n can only be one thing, right? N equals 7. Okay, done. Move on. With inequality, if you have something like n is less than 7, it could be lots of things, infinite things, right? So you need to represent that with a graph, and we did that yesterday, or the day before. We graphed these on a number line, right? Those are the only two differences. Otherwise, solving an inequality is just like solving an equation. Okay, let's practice. And we're going to focus on rule number 1 here. Our original inequality says negative 8n is less than 80. What am I going to have to do here to get n by itself? Divide by negative 8. And when you hear that, when you say it, divide by negative 8, that should trigger the alarm bells, the flag, everything. We're going to have to flip our inequality symbol. Okay, so instead of less than, it's now going to be greater than. Right? And we get n is greater than negative 10. Why do we have to do that? Someone always asks me why. I'm going to give you the punch this time. Colin, why do we have to flip our inequality symbol when dividing or multiplying by a negative number?
Because on the right side of the inequality symbol, before you divided it, it was a positive number, but after you divided it, it's a negative.
Excellent. What does multiplying or dividing by a negative do? It changes the sign of the other number, right? 80 started out positive. When we divide by that negative 8, our result is a negative 10. Because we flop sides of the number line, there we go. Because we flop sides of the number line, we have to flip our inequality symbol as well. Okay? We can easily check this. Poltinsky, give me a number that is greater than negative 10.
3.
3. If we plug in 3 into our inequality here, negative 8 times 3 is negative 24 less than 80?
Yes.
What?
No.
Yes. Negative 24 is less than 80. Okay, it works. Give me a number that is less than negative 10. Not in our solution set. Tristan. Negative 11. If we take negative 8 and multiply by negative 11, is that less than 80? It's greater than, right? Anything greater than negative 10 works. Anything less than negative 10 doesn't. And so that's why we have to make the graph to show that, show those ranges of solutions. And it's why we have to flip our inequality symbol, because if we flop the side of the number line, okay, we've switched it, we now have to flop our inequality symbol as well. Okay. Next one. What's our one step we're going to do to isolate n. Cole,
Divide by -7.
do we need to flip our inequality symbol, Cole?
Yes.
Yes. Why, Cole?
Because it's a negative number.
Yes, we are dividing by a negative number. So it starts out less than or equal to. We're going to flip it to be greater than or equal to. And 35 divided by -7 is a -5. What's our graph going to look like here? Colin?
Closed circle going to the right.
Closed circle at -5 going to the right. Okay? That's where all our solutions are. Let's pick 0. 0 is greater than or equal to -5. If we plug in 0 here, -7 times 0, is that less than or equal to 35?
It's less than.
Yes.
Yes, it is. Okay? Yes, it is. Okay? The next one. What's our one step we're going to need to do here to get n by itself? It says n divided by 3 is greater than or equal to -6. What's our one step to get n by itself here?
Multiplication.
Multiply by what?
3.
3. Do we have to flip our inequality symbol?
No.
No. Okay? Even though that 6 is negative, is the sign of that 6 going to change when we multiply by 3? No, it's still going to be a negative value. Okay? It depends on what you're multiplying or dividing by, right? So we are multiplying by a positive 3. So our inequality symbol does not flip because the sign of that 6 did not change. We did not flip sides of the number line. Okay? So it stays greater than or equal to. And then graphing this, closed circle at -18, going to the right.
So why does it stay?
It stays the same because this started negative, and when we multiplied by a positive, it stayed negative. Okay? The other ones, we start with a positive, we divide by -8, it becomes negative. We flip the sign of that number, so we flip the inequality symbol. Last one. What do we need to do to get n by itself? Brielle, what do you think? It says n divided by -4.
Multiply by
Are we going to have to flip our sign?
Yes.
Yes, we are, because the number we're multiplying by
It's negative.
is negative, right? Because what happens here is that -36, when you multiply it by -4, it becomes a positive, right? 144. Okay? Positive 144. So our inequality symbol that started out greater than now flips to less than. And this time it's an open circle because it's just the less than symbol and it's going to the left. Okay? Yes.
For the light for the n plus is less than 17. Do I subtract 3 from 17?
Yes. Yep. So that's rule number 1. That's one that should definitely go on a help sheet for you because it oftentimes gets missed. Okay, it's that little extra quirk with an inequality, and you will catch yourself if you do take the time to check your answers. Right? Let's go back to this first one here, and let's say we divided by -8. We did not flip our inequality symbol, and we got n is less than -10. Okay? If you plug in a number that's less than -10, let's say -12, -8 times -12, which is positive 96, is not less than 80. Right? So you'll catch yourself if you check your answers. But if I took a poll, an honest poll, as to how many of you actually take time to check your answers, I would imagine it would not be very many of you. Okay? Those that do catch themselves and make mistakes like this,
If it's anonymous.
those who don't, maybe you'll have to retake the check. Okay? All right, questions on rule number 1. Cool.
Well, I only check my work my parents are there. I don't check my work at all.
It's a good idea to do it.
See?
It's a good idea to do it.
Just like y'all are reading.
All right. Solve each inequality and graph the solution, and then what? Show how you check your answer?
Wow!
Oh, past Mr. Schultz knew we were going to talk about this today, and present Mr. Schultz is pleased with that guy. Okay. do first to solve 7n
Does
plus
anybody have a
3?
Sharpie?
Nah, fam.
Will? Nathan? Will? What do we do first here? To solve this inequality, it's a two-stepper. What's our first step? Pretend that is an equal sign. If you're trying to think of what's my first, it's the same thing until that rule number 1 pops up. Kaylin?
Wouldn't you subtract 3?
You would. You start with any addition or subtraction. Start with that constant. Subtract 3 from both sides. We're not multiplying or dividing here, so we don't have to worry about the sign flipping yet. We get 7n is less than 14. Okay? What is our second step to solve the inequality? Paisley. Why negative 7?
Because you make
What is 7 divided by negative 7 equal? Negative 1. Do we want negative 1n by itself? No, we want n by itself, right? So whatever number we're multiplying this n by is the number we're going to divide by. So since it's a positive 7, then we're going to be dividing by a positive 7. Okay? Because that will give us positive 1n or just 1n. Do we have to flip our sign?
No.
We do not, because we're dividing by a positive. 14 divided by 7 is 2. You do need to graph this.
We do.
Okay? N is less than 2. And let's check our answer here. Eli, give me a number that is a solution to this number line, or this graph.
2.
2 is not a solution to that because it's the less than symbol.
1.
1. So if we plug in 1 into our original equation, 7 times 1 plus 3 is less than 17. 10 is less than 17. That is true. That checks out. Okay? So we can be confident that our solution is correct. If we had plugged into 7 times 2 is 14, plus 3 is 17, we would have gotten this. 17 is less than 17. Is that true?
No.
No. So we would know that 2 doesn't work, and therefore should not be included in our solution. Okay? Stanley.
How did you get n or 1 correct?
I picked a number, actually, Eli. Picked one that's part of our solution set here. He could have picked 0, could have picked negative 5, right? Anything less than 2 would be acceptable.
So negative 1,000.
That works.
What about negative 2,000? 2001? What we do 1.9.
So your homework for tomorrow is to work through the rest of these. You've got 2 left on this first page. On the second page, you've got 6 of them. And then you got 3 word problems to work on as well. Okay? If they'll stop howling, then I'm willing to go over a couple of them with you in the time that we've got left. I want to make sure I assign the homework so you know what your task is for tomorrow. What do you want to see? Maddie?
Go over 1 word problem.
Sure. Do you have a favorite?
That was the hardest one.
The hardest one. The CD.
Sorry?
The CD one. The blank CD.
A blank CD can hold 70 minutes of music. So far, you burned 25 minutes of music onto the CD. You estimate that each song lasts 4 minutes. Use a graph to describe the possible numbers of additional songs you can burn onto the CD. Okay? So we're starting with a whole of 70, right? That's how many minutes the CD can hold. We've already burned 25 on the CD. So how many minutes are left?
45 minutes.
45 minutes. Okay? Because 70 minus 25 equals 45 minutes remaining. Right? Now, estimating that each song lasts 4 minutes, how are you going to calculate the number of songs you can put on the CD? What's there room for? Nathan?
I mean, you could just do it where you just divide.
That's exactly what I'm asking for. Yeah. How would you do it?
45 divided by 4.
Yeah.
So that comes out to 11.
Good. So you've got 45 minutes remaining. If each song lasts approximately 4 minutes, then 45 divided by 4 will tell you how many songs will fit on the CD, right? How many times does 4 go into 45? Now, what? Nathan said that it works out to be 44. Okay, it's a, it works out to be probably 11. It's a slight decimal there. So if it's 11.25, can you put a quarter of a song onto a CD? Maybe you can't. I don't know. I'm assuming you can't, right? And so you can put 11 songs on this CD. Colin, what's your question or comment?
You could also do n over 4 is less than or equal to 45.
Yes, there are other ways to do this. I'm not requiring you to write the inequality. I do want you to use the graph though. So however you want to solve it, perfectly fine. But your answer does need to be on the graph, which is going to be the same for all of us, right? No matter what method you use, Charlotte, to solve it, your graph is going to look the same. Okay? If you can put 11 songs, can you put 11 songs?
Yeah.
Or anything less than that, right? So the number of songs you can put on there is less than or equal to 11, because 11 is a solution. So no matter how you solve it, your graph should look like a closed circle at 11 going to the left. Okay? All right. Questions on that one? Okay, we have under a minute remaining, so I'm going to let you go. Homework is finished. The objective for tomorrow. Don't forget, con is due tonight. Con is due tonight. Have a great day, folks.